1 minute warning
to the goofball army out there. Hi at the families. Tell them to get to the next room. Tell them to go to your neighbors because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If it's your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, oof.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Oh, welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by
me, Rob, and our last show before real football. Actually, there's some real football going on now if you're watching live, but we're talking Giants football.
Giants football.
Giants football.
God damn it.
It is real football. I'm a real boy.
And yeah, we're literally in the thick of it here. If you're on with us here, we're also watching the first game of the season, the Cowboys and the Eagles, in the only game that happens twice a year that we root for a tie. Like, as a Giant fan, like, I always ask people as Giants fans, like, what do you root for when the Cowboys play the Eagles? Like, it's obvious in every other game, basically, you know, who you probably want there, depending on, but I don't want anyone to win this game. Someone's going to win it. I don't want either one to win. Let's get a tie. Let's get a tie going, guys.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, we're
going to tie.
Our picks episode, our first picks episode of the 2025 season here. Loving it as we go ahead and start doing not just the winners, spread picks, and also the over-unders for literally every single game this weekend. We do not chicken out no matter what. And this is going to be a season to break the tie there, as Rob won 2 years ago. I won last year. And, of course, we still don't know who actually won the first year. So, technically, somebody's up by one season, but someone lost the tracking sheet. And we're also going to run down for you guys all the injuries coming up for the Giants-Commanders game here on Sunday as well there. So, let's break right into it here, guys.
Boom.
All right. And of course, listen, if we're going to start off, let's start it off right. Let's start off talking about our game first, because this is a Giants podcast. We love football overall, but it's a Giants podcast. So let's get right in with the injury report here for this upcoming weekend, because listen, for once, it's the Giants are actually winning with some Tigers blood there, basically. So I'm not sure how to take that, but it is what it is. We're winning. So the Giants' only injury, guys, on the injury report is Andrew Thomas, who still has that foot injury. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. He did not practice today on Thursday. So, you know, honestly, guys, we don't know if he's going to play or not. To be very frank, we won't even know until the break before kickoff, probably, if he's going to play. So we're going to find out. We got to imagine, based on what you saw in the preseason games, you got to imagine that James Hudson is going to be the guy who will take the place of him there. Personally, I would rather Jermaine Illuminor move over to left tackle and have Marcus Bowe go over to right tackle. But you know, I don't get my way just because I'm a fan.
Yeah, we didn't pay enough into the Mara family yet.
Maybe if I gave them $1 billion, bought 10% of the team, maybe then I would also get a say in what goes on. Is that a good time to mention the buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs?
Guys, help out. So we can buy the team.
Just $1 billion, and the Goofball Army can own 10% of the team. Oh my God, it'd be insane. Honestly, no. If I get $1 billion, yeah, the podcast will still go on, but I would definitely not be buying that. I'd be just buying myself freedom for the rest of my life. Never have to worry about money again.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Imagine having that kind of money. They're like, it's $1 billion. Let's just spend it on 10% of a team.
Right? That's your spare change.
Seriously, insanity. Theo Johnson, obviously the other Giant that people have been talking about all week. Rumor during the beginning of this week and end of last week that he might not be able to play the game. But he doesn't even appear on the injury report, so he should be 100% good to go. So for once, the Giants only have one player on
to be injured by all
report. Like, that's insanity. Like, when's the last time we've been this healthy? Even going into week one, like,
oof.
I don't want to jinx it here. The Commanders, though, they got some injuries, guys. They got some injuries. Dorrance Armstrong has a knee injury. He's one of their defensive ends. Was limited in practice both Wednesday and Thursday. Just to give you a little background, since you might not be as familiar with the Commanders players. That's the former Cowboy that went over with Dan Quinn to the Commanders last season. Last year had 16 games, 39 tackles, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 14 QB hits. So not an elite player, but a solid player. His status is basically unknown at this point too. Kind of the same degree as Andrew Thomas there. Might be coming out of game time depending how he feels. Knee injuries are nothing to mess with, obviously. Even if he's playing, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they start limiting his snaps because you don't want to mess up a guy in week one. That's for damn sure. If he is not playing or if his snaps are limited, you can probably expect Javonte Jean-Baptiste or Jacob Martin to be taking some of his snaps there. Martin, the veteran, Jean-Baptiste, the second-year player there. So you'll see which way they go, youth or veteran, for that kind of move there. Wide receiver Noah Brown, also knee injury, also limited in practice the last 2 days there. Last year, 11 games, 35 catches, 453 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was their second receiver on the offense last year. Has been moved down now with the signing of Debo, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Samuel to the third wide receiver. So we'll see what happens. He is expected to play in this. And very excited to. He actually had a freak injury last year and didn't play for the last, the second half of the season, basically, if you start including playoff games and all there. Quarterback Jonathan Jones, hamstring issue, limited practice again, also the last 2 days. Last year was with the Patriots, 17 games, 14 starts, 58 tackles, 6 passes deflected, and 2 forced fumbles. And this one that has Commanders fans a little bit nervous there when you talk to them, because the Commanders have him having his issue now, Marshawn Lattimore, who's been nothing but injury issues all of last year, and they only kept 5 corners. So when you got one banged up, one has a tendency to get banged up. That leaves you with potential for only 3 healthy corners if that happens, which would be great for the Giants. I'm just saying, I'm not going to complain if that happens. Though I don't want to wish injuries upon people unless they play for the Cowboys. Yeah. Either that, I will wish injuries on them. Maybe illness that keeps them out of a game. That's better.
Yeah, listen. I hope he gets at a bad sushi restaurant the night before the game and just can't play. Cool.
Exactly.
24 hours to 48 hours of just explosive diarrhea to keep you out of the field.
Maybe Lord sends over an 8-ball and a group of hookers. Who knows what happens? He's done it before. So also a couple other minor injury news there on the Commander's side.
Kicker nudes?
What?
You say nudes?
I didn't say news, not nudes. God damn it! I mentioned hookers once in the show, and you're all sidetracked now. Kicker Matt Gay also has an illness. He was full participant, though, the last 2 days. So, again, expect him to play. Backup quarterback Marcus Mariota also has an Achilles injury he's been dealing with there, but he's been a full participant the last 2 days. So, again, he's expected to play on Sunday. Well, it's never to sit on the bench, I should say, on Sunday. The big one is Sam Cosmi, the starting right guard, was their former starting tackle. So Giants fans should be pretty familiar with him. He's been on the team for a few years. He is still on the PUP list. They're unable to perform. So Nick Allegretti will be probably starting in his place. That's the former Chief, if the name rings a bell, because he was obviously, when you're a Chief, you play in a lot of postseason games, Super Bowl games, and things do happen to be clicking in people's head when they hear your name. So that's his second season now with the Commanders as well. So, but he is their number one backup for when issues do come arise. And of course, hey, guess what? Issue has come arise. So that'd be one nice thing. You got one backup on the offensive line. Couple that with the fact that we have a really good pass rush on paper, hopefully.
Yeah.
It does play to our advantage. And I said all along, I said the interior of this offensive line with the Commanders is the potential issue, especially with Dexter Lawrence, there, who also did not appear on the injury list, guys. So he should be also good to go. I should make that note of that as well, since we haven't seen him since his injury last year. Even in the preseason, he didn't play. So, like I said, Giants actually very healthy coming into this one and definitely get the notch here for the win on the injury column. Was that mean on Sunday? We'll find out.
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and pay the bills a little early in this episode here because we're going to go right into our picks round here. And for those of y'all who are ready and, used to the platform of how we do these, it's going to be kind of rapid fire here. So Rob and I are definitely going to need a little break after this episode, probably just to breathe for a second. So let's go ahead and pay the bills real quick, guys, and then we'll be right back with our
Thanks
picks.
for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All righty, guys. So, again, for those who may not have watched last year, the year before that, as we're in our 4th annual week 1 picks.
Ooh, it's weird. This is 4.
It's 4. 4. So, guys, this is what we do. We do this every single week. We do it every single season since we started the show here. Every Thursday, we'll do our picks episode. We'll be giving you guys who we think will win each and every game in the NFL. We'll give you a spread picks. We'll give you also over-unders. And then we'll go ahead and let you guys know how that goes for us on Monday's episode there. So, obviously, we go kind of round robin style in this as well. So Rob gets a chance to talk because otherwise we all know I commandeer the mic. It is what it is.
It is. And I get no 2 cents of putting in why these teams are going to win, even though I have the record of stats why. Oh, just kidding.
All I know is I won last year.
You won by points.
I won by a lot. I won by a lot last year, okay? The total last year,
trifecta.
542 points I had. You had 507. That's a decent win. It was 10%.
It was. You had some good trifectas last year. I can't take it away from you.
Not with the trifectas. It's part of it there. So
I know.
Anyway,
where you got points from
that as well to those who might be new as well. So we do our own thing as well, where if we get the win, the spread, and the over-under, all 3 of them correct, we call it a trifecta. We give an extra point to whoever picked all 3 of those correct per game as well. So that's what he's whining about there. So let's go. I'll start off with the first game here. It's going on live as we're recording this right now here. So, and again, these picks were made before the game started. So no shenanigans. Cowboys at the Eagles. Eagles are a 7-point favorite in the game. Over under is 46.5 points. And I did pick the Eagles to win. I picked the Eagles to beat with the spread, and I picked the over on the points as well. As we're recording this right now, it's 14-14. So looking pretty good as far as the points go. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I'll give credit to the Cowboys because I don't think anybody gave them a shot in hell of winning this game. And the fact that they playing this close is I guess a kudos to them, even though I hate to give kudos to either side of the ball right now. Now, we also had, of course, the ejection is the kind of this news going on right now in the NFL world is Jalen Carter was ejected before the first offensive snap even because he spit on Dak Prescott. Like very Bill Romanowski style, almost like, but Bill Romanowski spit in the guy's face. Like I think Carter probably meant to spit in his face. I don't want to speak for him, but he probably did. But it landed on his jersey instead, it looks like, based on the play. So, yeah, absolutely classless. And what else should you expect from the Eagle? Just saying.
Pretty much.
English fans beat up Santa Claus. I mean, that just tells you everything you know right
They throw
there.
piss balls at kids.
Yeah. So, again, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this. We'll see how that pans out for me as 5 minutes to go in I guess 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter as we're talking this here. Rob, who you got?
I took the Eagles to win. I took them in the spread, and I took the over in this game as well.
So we're the same?
Going into this, like, I would have possibly, like, listen, if you were smart, you would have, as soon as you heard about the Michael Parsons trade and possibility of it going on, you should have bet it then on the Eagles because they were -3 compared to -7. And then we even dabbled up to 8-5 in some sports books. So, yeah.
Yeah. A little bit crazy, that's for sure. But, yeah, this is, like I said, this is kind of, I mean, you expect it to be a kind of a close game, but I don't think a touchdown is that crazy for this.
Yeah, I thought going into this game at 2 point, I thought Eagles would win by 2 scores.
Well, I don't think I would say that it's going to be 10 points. I'm going to say, which is the 2 scores, not 2 touchdowns. I think it'll be a little closer. We'll find out. We'll find out who's right there, and it's either be both of us or neither of us.
Pretty much, we're all or nothing. Well, the next game we got is Friday night, guys. So if you got nothing going on, Friday night football.
It sounds weird to say that, doesn't it?
It was. Well, it's because it's a Brasilia. It's a Brasilia game, is it not?
Yes, Brasilia.
So the Chargers get gypped out of a home game because they are, quote unquote, hosting the Chiefs in Brazil.
That's it.
And the Chiefs are the 3-point favorites in this game, so that's kind of stinks. Not only do you lose a home field advantage to play in Brazil, you lose time and travel, and yeah, you're also underdogs at home.
You get good food.
You do. You got a lot of good food out there.
Oh, I had pão de queijo just last night, which is that little round bread that they make in Brazilian restaurants and all. Oh my god, it's so good.
I was going to a Brazilian steakhouse for work, but that was
I would love some Rubizio. Listen, sign me up.
Oh my god.
You know I'm a fan of that stuff. We went there for my bachelor party.
Yeah, this is true. I can't listen. I visited quite a few of them because the vacuums, you need high quality vacuums at one of the steakhouses because you're just a bunch of big old clumps of meat left over.
Keep the green card going. Keep the meat coming.
But the over on this game is at 45.5 points. What can I say about this game? Listen, Harbaugh came in. He changed around the culture with the Chargers. It's a lot more low-scoring games with them, but until proven otherwise, like it should be a good game, but until proven otherwise, Andy Reid's the best coach in modern football as it currently sits. And you got to go with the Chiefs. Like as much as some people want to hate on them, they're a dynasty right now. They're like one of the best teams in the NFL, and they'll always be there. And it is a rival game as being in the same division, all, but I'm going to give the edge to the Chiefs in this. And I think their offense is going to be better than it was last year. You think Mahomes, that offense sounds a little funny. Defense is going to be right around where it's at. So I'm going to take the Chiefs too with 3 points because they're probably going to win. Maybe not by a touchdown, but more than 3. Probably 6 to maybe 8 points. And I'm going to go with the under because I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game and more of a run-fest game.
You know, this is the problem with doing any kind of scores on week 1 and picks that, you know. It's like you don't know because year to year things do change. And, you know, I've been a big fan of the Chiefs since they got Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh is going to develop this team into a winning team 100%. Like they could have been a winning team for the last couple of years that didn't have a crappy coach before they got him. Another one, division game. Division games are typically close. You know, you're looking at the fact that these two teams are both very good teams. I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to win because they are the better team. I'm going to pick, though, the Chargers because of the +3 and kind of hedge my bet a little bit there. This is a game point blank, guys. I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Not even an 11-foot pole.
Oh.
Yes.
You know, saucy out there.
or my own 12-foot, but that's a whole separate story. Wrap it around the leg.
Gross. La, 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 la.
But to me, it's like, because of the fact that it's really two good teams, playing across, I always say across the pond, but I guess not across the pond. It's like way down the pond.
Down the river.
Yeah,
the Amazon.
The Rio Grande, the Amazon River there. But you look at the fact that, again, two teams that play each other quite often is going to be close there. The Chiefs have a tendency to win games by like 1 or 2 points. That's just their MO for whatever reason. I'm going to go Chiefs to win, Chargers to cover the 3-point spread, though. I'm going to go under on the points as well, because I think it's going to be a sloppy game here because of a lot of the traveling issues and stuff like that. I feel like international games aren't typically massive scoring events. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Chiefs, Chargers, and under.
Yeah, I mean, it's both teams. So their receivers are kind of like a lot of problems. We'll say with both those teams with the receivers. Offensive line a little sus when it comes to the Chargers. So expect a lot of running.
Exactly. So we almost agree. So obrigado.
Yeah.
I had to say at least one word in Portuguese. The Brazilian. So next, we're moving on to the 1 o'clock game here, guys. The 1 o'clock games, I should say. Sorry. We got the Buccaneers at the Falcons is the first one to talk about here. With the NFC South division, the division that I guess somebody has to win, because every single year this is like the weakest division basically in all of football, it seems like. And this is probably the two teams that will be battling it out for the division. You got to think that the Bucs are probably the better team just based on what they've done the last couple of years. Though a lot of what the Falcons are this year is going to depend on the arm and the legs of Michael Penix there. But we're going to find out here. So you got a 2.5 point spread there going positive towards the Falcons as they are the underdog. Listen, again, you don't know in a division game. That's part of the fun of it there. 47.5 is the over under on this. And y'all know I've been a big fan of Michael Penix since day one. I think Michael Penix is going to be a damn legit good receiver in this game. Quarterback in this game. But what it boils down to it is the Buccaneers, it's week 1. They're the better team. Penix is still getting his sea legs, so to speak, in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Bucs to win. I'm going to hedge the bet again, though, and say it's going to be like a 1-2 point kind of win at that point there, and give that spread pick to the Falcons. And I'm going to go under on the over-under there.
Listen, this game could go either way when talking about the over-under. We're going to do this one a little bit in reverse. But these teams play each other either defensively or offensively, and it's silly to say because that's the two sides of football. That being said, like last year, like they played each other to like a 30 to 35 game or whatever it was, but the first meeting was like a 17 to 13 game. So who showed up in what game? For whatever reason, both defenses show up in the game or both offenses show up in the game.
If I remember right, though, and I'd have to look it up to see, but I remember right, the first game Bijan Robinson, I think, didn't play. Or was that the prior year he missed? Because I know he missed one of the games with the Bucs. Again, just living here in Tampa Bay, I hear a decent amount on the stuff that's going on with the Bucs. So I could be misremembering, but I want to say he might have missed that game.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the Bucs have been the better team, but when the better team last year, they have 9 wins compared to 8 wins. Like it's not proven that much. They're that much better. They both played this division very tough. They play each other tough all the time. I think week 1 will surprise you a little bit. Atlanta's going to come in a little tougher. I think Penix looked really good towards the end of the year. I think he's going to give the ability to Drake London, which if you follow fantasy, half his points came out of the last 6 games. Half his points, half his stats and yards came pretty much out of his last 6 games. He also got Kyle Pitts, which the tight end, which everyone's been talking up. Probably won't play to his potential that everyone's talking about, but you can't count him out. And they diversified some weapons out there with Mooney as well. You got Godwin on the other side of the ball, who's not probably going to be 100% healthy. Chris Evans is, father time's catching up with him. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not counting those guys out because I love both those guys. And I think the Falcons are going to win in a close game. And it's going to be in the under because I think it's more of a defensive game coming up. than an offensive game.
So honestly, that's a good call out on the Drake London thing, because I hadn't even noticed that myself. But if you go back to I looked back to his game log while you're talking. The 3 games, the last 3 games of the year is when Michael Penix started for the Falcons there. Remember, his first game was the game that I went to when the Giants came down to Atlanta. So in those 3 games, he had 352 yards. So average 117 and a third yards per game. Prior to those 3 games with Penix, he only had 1 game over 100 yards. In fact, I'm looking, he only had 2 games over 80 yards even. So, yeah, that's a good call out there, because that definitely seemed to be a difference there for Drake London towards the end. So,
listen, if you guys out there in fantasy land got Drake London in the second round, he's probably going to be your top flight receiver this year if Penix stays healthy, because those two, boom, had a connection.
They did. So, all right, next up.
Oh, sorry. Next up, you got the Bengals going in to Cleveland for the Battle of Ohio.
Ohio.
The Bengals are favored 5.5 points in this game, and the over-under in this one is 47.5 points. Guys, it is very easy to say Bengals all day long. I am going to flip the script on this. I am not going to say the Bengals. The Bengals want to come off hot, but since Joe Burrow has been there, they have not had a hot start out of the gate season at all. They've won week 1, but they also are 4-1 since Joe Burrow came into the NFL. They're 1-4 in Cleveland since Joe Burrow came into the NFL. So that being said, with history going into this, I went with the Browns to win this game in a very close game. So that obviously means the Browns are going to cover this game. I'm going to go with the under, because yeek.
So here's my whole thing in this. I look at the Browns and I say this is one of the spots that has one of the worst, absolute worst offense in the entire league, just because of what's going on at quarterback. You have 57-year-old Joe Flacco and a couple of mid-round rookies behind him there at that point. That's the biggest issue right there. I look at the Bengals. The Bengals have a great offense, at least offensive weapons, great quarterback, great receivers, but they don't have much of the offensive line necessarily. The Browns, though, are the team that can't take advantage of their bad defense because of how bad the offense is, So because of that, if you can't go after the weakness of the team you're going against, I got to root for the Bengals to win this at that point there. They're the ones that should be winning this game here in all fairness. 5.5 point spread, to me, that's less than a touchdown. I'm going to go with the Bengals. This is a team that is hoping to get stuff done right here. And like you said, break that kind of issue they've been having in Cleveland, which is weird. Who has trouble winning in Cleveland?
Except the Bengals.
I'm just saying, that's weird. That's a weird stat.
And listen, this is a divisional game. And just like you said, this is a high-power offense when it comes to Cincinnati, but one of the worst defenses that's going to be playing out there in the league. So when you have a bad offense going up against a bad defense, you're going to be able to put up some points.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I think no matter what, they're going to have trouble in Cleveland putting up points this year, personally. So we'll see what happens. But again, I'm going to have the Bengals to win, cover the spread. I'm going to go the under because I just think the Browns are going to do nothing scoring wise. So, we'll see how it goes. But that's what I'm thinking here. So we got next the Dolphins at the Colts in the matchup of the two weakest, least scary mascots in the entire NFL. It seems like, oh
pretty
no,
horsey
versus the horse. Oh no, like
pretty horsey. It's not even a Bronco. Bronco's at least an untamed horse. The Colts is a male horse. Like, God.
Yeah, is it a colt like a baby horse?
Is it? I thought it was a male horse.
Baby horse. I'm pretty sure. What is a colt? Let's see here. Yep, it's a young, uncastrated male horse. I don't know why that matters to go into the mix as well, but we're going into it. Anyway, speaking of
so he's got his load.
Listen, this offense for the Colts is going to be castrated because they got Daniel Jones, DJ as their quarterback there. And listen, we know what that brings to offenses here. So I'm not a big fan of the Dolphins this year. I think the Dolphins will have issues all year long, basically. But when you're facing Daniel Jones, your defense is bound to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Dolphins win this game. They cover the 1.5 point spread that they're getting negatively towards themselves, because you get the Colts are getting that 1.5 point, but that's nothing. I don't understand that spread. Why is it 1.5 points? Daniel Jones is their quarterback, guys. We've seen this for years as Giant fans. The over-under is on this game is 47, which means you're basically counting on Daniel Jones to score more than 10 points to reach that, which is almost impossible, it seems like, based on history. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dolphins, and the under.
We do agree on the under this one. And this is a flip of a coin for me, but I was leaning Colts, and when I saw and we were talking about this a little bit, I definitely had to go with the Colts on this one. Yeah, I wouldn't say easy money, but you got to put it this way. You got to think about this. You got to think about this side is that Michael McDaniels has been 3-0 in his starters as a head coach, and what's the coach for the Colts? Shane, what's his face? Who was 0-2 as a starter, opening day, if you will. So just by that record alone, the pressure for McDaniels isn't there. But the problem is Tua, that offensive line not being healthy, that defense being just terrible, and your best receiver out there, Tyreek Hill, has been having a big downward slump that no one wants to talk about. Granted, Wallace is a great player. Who knows if Tua gets concussed, if you will. Yes, DJ's their starter over there, but know what DJ does very well? He runs behind another great running back, and you got that in JT, and you also got some other weapons over there. And he's got probably a better offensive line than, well, not probably, but he definitely has a better offensive line than he had with the Giants. And the Colts have a decently good defense. So I went with the Colts to win this game, obviously cover, and I took the under because I don't see DJ throwing up 3 scores in this game, but it's going to be enough to win this game. And I just think Dolphins come out slow and not their style, if you will.
All right, we'll find out.
Next up, you got the Battle of the Cats. You got the Panthers playing the Jaguars, which not far travel time, and technically isn't a Panther or Jaguars just black?
I'm not sure on that, but
that's besides the point. Anyway,
it's like a Florida Panther is like a mountain lion.
Well, I think a panther, if we're going to get technical, I think a panther is just a big cat that's black. I think that's what defines it.
I'm not a cat expert.
I'm not a biologist.
Only thing I know about is cougars and the Buenos Aires and Red Bank.
Yeah, I was about to say Red Bank is very good for the cougars. They are not tamed.
We haven't made that for a while. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah. All right. So Jaguars hosting the Panthers. And the Jaguars are 3-point favorites in this game, and the over-under is at 46.5 points. I think this is the coming out party for the Panthers. They've had their issues. They have plenty of issues the past few years. But no, what? So have the Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence is pretty much GJ 2.0. Just
purple Jones.
Just better hair, right? He has. Everyone's talking about how great he's supposed to be. How great he's supposed to be. Kai Ridley, who's not even there anymore. Everyone's talking about Hunter, who, let's face it, is he a receiver? Is he going to be the corner? Like, I don't know what they're doing with this guy. Panthers got Bryce Young, who seems to start, once he got benched last year, start putting it together. Hubbard is going to be like an unsung hero as a running back. He's going to not be top tier like a Barkley, but he's going to be right there in the middle to higher tier of the starters in this league. So, especially if DraftKings you got him this week, you definitely start him. But I'm taking, like I said, Panthers to win, Panthers to cover, because you got to if they're going to win. And I took the under in this game. I'm sorry, I took the over in this game because I don't think they have defenses to stop any of these teams.
You know, I think the important question that's had to be asked this year is how many head coaches had to fail before they realized Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback? Because Urban Meyer was a train wreck. Let's be honest with that. That's what it is there. But the guy made Tim Tebow look amazing in college. You get Doug Peterson, who literally won a ring in Philly with freaking Nick Foles of all people. And now you get Liam Cohen, who made Baker Mayfield and that offense look really, really good. So that's an issue when you're going through 3 coaches. We'll find out. Again, the third one's just beginning, but I'm just saying, like, this has got to be the last coach to try to make Trevor Lawrence look good. And if he can't do it, then maybe it's time to just admit that pick unfortunately just didn't work out for them for whatever reason. But I'm with you on the Panthers. I don't know about coming out party. I don't know if I'd go that extent, but I do think that the Panthers are going to be an improved team this year, because you saw a little bit of change in Bryce Young last year after he got benched for a little bit and came back onto the field there. And he's got an actual guy who's got a track record of fixing quarterbacks. He's, fixed Geno Smith before, fixed the aforementioned, Baker Mayfield when he was OC in Tampa as well. It's actually kind of funny. This is the battle of the previous 2 offensive coordinators for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game, actually. You wouldn't think of the Bucs as a place that develops head coaches, but here it is. So I'm going to say the Panthers win. I think the Panthers will cover the 3-point spread. That's not that much at that point. I'm with you on the over, because I do think that while the Jaguars are going to have issues winning, they're going to put up some points in the process, which should be just enough to put it over on that. So yeah, I got Panthers over.
Yeah, just think of the Jaguars this year are going to pretty much be the team version of Cincinnati. Like, bad defense, better offense, but it's not going to fit the couch just right.
Yeah, it's a lot of issues on both these teams for a lot of years. So I just hope for their fan bases that one of them starts winning. I just feel bad for them. I really do. Like, it's you gotta feel bad for a guy who roots for a team every year, never wins, and just like we felt like the last couple of years to Giant fans.
Yeah. Well, listen, Trevor Lawrence did a DJ to them and got them right there to the playoff hopes 2 years ago, and everyone has been hanging their head on that and just looking at that beautiful head of hair as every time the helmet comes off.
All right, next up, we got the Raiders. Here, guys, and listen, it's a whole new Raiders. We got obviously Pete Carroll in there, Geno Smith. It's a whole different feel at that point, except it's still the Raiders. It's still owned by the Davis family. They're still messing things up left and right. Amari Cooper just literally retired on them today because he'd rather retire than play for them, it seems. We don't know what happened. For all we know, he's just that washed up. He's done. But listen, they have it as a close matchup. It's 2 teams that, quite frankly, didn't look very good last year. Not that we have any room to talk as Giant fans, but you look at the off seasons, the Patriots added a whole bunch of free agents, but they overpaid for every single one of them. Let's be honest. The Raiders, like I said, they went out and got a guy who's a proven winner in Pete Carroll, and they're hoping that's enough to kind of turn some of this roster around. Whereas the Patriots go in and bring Mike Vrabel, also a proven winner, a head coach. Like, there's no way to know what to expect from these teams at this point. They're completely different teams than they were last year, basically. So it's kind of like the throw shit up against the wall and hope you're right kind of game when you call it. So again, another game I wouldn't put a damn cent of real money on. But as always, we will pick a winner for every single goddamn game, no matter what. And we took the year off of Pete Carroll as a head coach. What do we always call Pete Carroll?
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete. So
Sneaky Pete at the Raiders. I can't wait to say this all year.
Yeah.
It's
so
like Christmas in September.
So I'm going to go ahead and say Sneaky Pete sneaks out a win here. And it's going to be a close game in the end. It's probably going to be like a 1-touchdown kind of game there. But I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. It's only a 3-point spread for the favorited Patriots there. So, but again, they're the favorites, and I don't think they're going to win anyway. So therefore, Raiders to win the spread there at that point. 43.5 is the over-under on that, which is a pretty low spread for a week 1 matchup there. But I'm going to go ahead and give that to the under still. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, that's for sure. So I got Raiders under.
Yeah, so I went completely opposite with you on this one. Yeah. And this is going to be something that's going to bite one of us down in the butt down the road, because I'm taking the Pats to win, the Pats obviously to cover with that, and then too close. I'm taking the over with this. You got Drake May, who came out, which we didn't think he was going to be too great, but on a bad team, looked pretty good, put up some scores last year, in some tough situations.
Drake May.
No, listen, I watched him on fantasy, man. He put up some scores against some better defenses than he should have. He looked good on a bad team, so like he has the ability to play well. Granted, variables. Is he going to utilize Drake May as the best? But I mean, he typically brings around some defenses to some teams, so which the Pats have typically been in there with a lot of teams. Typically, I would say it's a low-scoring game, but it's week 1, and you also got Sneaky Pete bringing in Geno Smith to bring back that relationship they had in Seattle. But the question is, does Geno still have it? Like, he's getting old himself. There's been some talks like, does he still got the juice left? That's something we should see. Like, and just like you said, Ronnie Cooper just retired because he didn't want to deal with this team anymore.
Oh,
the same
like
organization.
I say that kidding. I mean, he was there for like a week. Let's be honest. I don't think he had it anymore. Like a third of his yards last year came off of Deontay Banks in that Browns game.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't know. I'm taking the Patriots to win this game cover, and I'm taking the over because that's just way too low of an over-under in week 1. Like, that's a little scary. So, yeah. So we're going to agree to disagree on the game, but a game that I think we're going to agree on is pretty much a layup of a game. What seems like a layup, I should say, because there's nothing that's 100% in week 1, especially when it comes to betting. You got the Cardinals going into Nolans playing the Saints. Nolans. Cards are favored 6.5 points on the road, which just tells you they got no respect for New Orleans. It's pretty much telling you that right out of the gate, they think New Orleans is going to be one of the worst teams in football, just like every other NFL fan out there who is
not tanking. I'm sorry. Do not tell me New Orleans is tanking.
Listen, you're saying Riller's not the answer over there? The over-under of this game is 43.5 points, just same as the Pats game. And it does seem low, but you know what? Kyler Murray has not been playing Call of Duty. He has not been out yet, so I think he's going to come in here almost. What?
I said calamari for a second.
Kyler Murray. The calamari kid, the squid kid.
Squidward, the quarterback.
Actually, I love it. We're going home Squidward going forward. He's going to come out there with the juice. I think it's just going to be the Saints playing from behind, and the Cardinals defense isn't that good, so I think they're going to hit the over that way. But there's no way that the Cards are. I shouldn't say no way, but there's almost no way that the Cards don't just blow this team out and at least a 2-score win, probably closer to a 3-score. You're looking at like a 15 to 17 point win.
You know, my only issue with saying that much of a spread is the fact that I don't really have much faith in the Cardinals either. You know, it's just I'm not a Murray fan. You know, I've never been a Murray fan. But I'm going to agree with you. The Cardinals are going to win because the Saints, I like I said, they're tanking. There's no doubt in my mind they're tanking for a quarterback. No other reason would you go Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback. Like, that's insanity.
Isn't he left-handed? That's why. Southpaw.
Tyler Shuck is your guy you drafted that looked horrible, couldn't win the starting job when he had to just beat out Spencer Rattler and Jake Hafner. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. Like, that's why we told you guys during the draft not to go near that kid. He wasn't going to be good unless we like, oh, he's going to be great. No, he's not. So Cardinals to win. I think Cardinals beat the spread because I do think it's going to be like a 7-10 point victory for them probably there at that point. I'm going to go the under on the score on the 43.5 because quite frankly, I don't think the Saints put up more than like 10 points. I think it's going to be that bad. Like, it's going to be like watching the Giants offense the last couple of years, basically. So,
yeah.
So, all right, let's go on to what is supposed to be the lowest scoring game basically this entire week, which I think is a little crazy here. The Steelers at the Jets. You know, it's got a lot of interesting quarterback stories in here. You got Aaron Rodgers going back to the Jets in his very first week back with now the Steelers on his now third team in the NFL, which is supposedly going to be his final season as a NFL player as well. On the Jets side, of course, you're bringing back the guy who literally was the starting quarterback for the Steelers to start the season.
This is switcheroonie.
And a guy they wanted back in Justin Fields. But guys, don't sit there and tell me that the Steelers aren't a whole lot better team than the Jets. Like we've all seen so far, there's been a lot of struggles on that offense. The struggle bus is real with the Jets. Justin Fields' best move is running. It's not a good thing as a quarterback, and he looked better with the Steelers last year. And I think it was better for him to have stayed with the Steelers if they offered him anything decent, which is what the rumor is they wanted. They wanted to offer him something decent and give him another year to start. But guys, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to take this game very personal. I think there's a little bit of beef going on to how things went down because they literally made this man, and I guess, listen, Aaron Rodgers is a schmuck. Let's be very clear on that. I don't feel bad for him per se, but they made this man fly out to New York just to sit him down and say, we don't intend on bringing it back. Like, he took that very personal. He made that very clear. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show, probably. So, yeah, it's he's going to take this move very personal, and he's going to show them point blank and show up, and Aaron Glenn and make him look a little foolish for what he did. I think there's going to be that kind of irkingness there with him. So I got Steelers to win. The Steelers are 2.5-point favorites, which is nothing in this kind of game there. 38.5 is the over-under. I'm going to still go the under. Because I think the Jets put up like nothing points-wise there, and the Steelers will beat them pretty well. But even if the Steelers put up 21 points, let's say hypothetically, and the Jets put up 10, you're still under. And that's the kind of score I think is what's going to happen. So I got Steelers to win, Steelers to cover the 2.5-point spread, and I got under on the points.
Yeah, listen, Jay's banging the drum in the comment section over here. Steelers blood. I think you're on to something there, Jay. I am agreeing. Aaron Rodgers is going to come over here and be very salty. And you know what? Justin Fields is also coming here very salty. This is a double revenge game.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields also has a chance to play with his former college teammate who helped him get drafted to the NFL as it is. So there's going to be a connection there. They had that before going to New York together. And I think Garrett Wilson's going to feast. But that Steelers defense is also pretty legit. I think 10 points is a little unfair, especially since you got Bryce Hall and the new guy in the backfield as well, they're going to be splitting time. Bryce Hall was very good as it was last year. So this offense is going to be running a lot from the backfield with a couple deep threat passes. Not to say it's enough to win. It's just going to be enough to put that over when they get like 14-7, probably 14 points. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be a schmuck to put up 3 touchdowns as they run in a touchdown as well. And they're going to kick as many field goals as possible. So I went with the over.
I just think what's going to happen, to be very frank with you, is that the passing offense is going to be so bad for the Jets that people are just going to stack the box, and stack the box. And Breece Hall is a good running back, and Braylon Allen also is a good running back as well. But neither one of them are elite running backs. And that's the thing. It takes an elite running back to still manage to function when they're stacking the box like that against you. So that's why I'm at there.
Yeah, listen, he dealt with that when he played for the Steelers. So, and he looked quite all right. So if you got the right coach staff, maybe Steelers help coach that out a little bit because the Jets aren't going to do it. But once again, he's got that safety blanket and Garrett Wilson. So
we'll see. If he can get the ball to him, we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for the game.
Our game.
Game of the week as a Giants podcast.
Yeah, as a Giants podcast, game of the week. All right. We got the Giants going down to DC. We are underdogs big time in this game. By 6 points. And then over-under is at 45.5. Guys, who really want to know our answers about this, watch yesterday's episode. But to sum it up real fast, I went with the Giants to win this game because I'm crazy. I went with the Giants to cover this game, obviously, because they're going to win this game. And then I also took the over just by barely, just a hair. It's like right there at that Tyson line. What's it going to be? But I think it's going to be like one of those 27-24s, 27-21, enough to cover.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like 24-21. So I think the Giants will lose the game in a very close fashion, which they typically play the Commanders very close. I do think, though, that that the Commanders, it's not a lock for them to win this game, guys. The Giants can still win it. So I'm not trying to be that negative, guys. Just you got to win a little bit, Giants, before I start trusting you again. I've been hurt before by the Giants. But I do think the Giants will cover the spread as well. Like you said, it's very close, going to be probably. I do think on the over-under, I'm going to go on the under of that, but just barely. I think it's going to be like 24-21, like I said, which, puts you right at that kind of range where it's like half a point under there. So we'll take a look and see.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we're moving to 4 o'clock, guys. It's time for the 4 o'clock games. So we're going to go on to the Titans at the Broncos, which I think is probably one of the least exciting game there, probably this entire schedule this week here. If Broncos are 8-point favorite, the over-under on this is 41.5. And guys, listen, Cam Ward's going to start for the Titans. There's not a lot of help around there for him. They have a coach they trust because he helped, develop Burrow, but not a lot there for him. It didn't always look the best during the preseason as well. Point blank, Jackson Dart looked better. And that's not like me trying to talk trash. It's just legit facts. So I'm going to say that the Broncos win this game because I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough road to start here for Cam Ward, and he's going to have to try to improve on the go as things go for the season there. And I think it's going to be a victory. I got the Broncos to win this as well. Really good defense and a horrible defense to have to go against when you're really playing your first NFL game there. There's not many weapons around. That's for damn sure. So I'm going to say Broncos win. I'm going to say the on the over-under. I think it's going to be the over because I actually don't have a lot of faith in the Titans defense either. So I'm going to sit there and say Broncos just absolutely destroy the Titans and probably what will be their most dominant win all season long there. Broncos over.
Yeah. Bo Nix really came around last year and proved his worth. They started him off slow, gave him a couple of passes here and there. Yeah, let him throw for 12 yard. Let him throw 12 times a game, and then he upped it. By the end of the year, he was just throwing downfield. This is Cam Ward's first game in the NFL, so I don't think he's going to come lining up the field, especially against what's arguably going to be the best defense in this league. Yeah, definitely top 5.
Yeah, I think
arguably
rough. That's a rough card to get that as your first game in the NFL.
Yeah, especially since you are going to the Mile High, and it's not at home. So now you're not used to being that in Denver, playing in a different environment, different environment, Mile High.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Broncos to do a spanking all day long, have a nice beatdown. I mean, I wish Cam Ward the best in this game. Like we talked about him being one of the best coming out, but it is a bad luck in the straws there.
Is it bad that I hear the Mile High? I don't even think of the stadium. I think of the Mile High Club.
No, not at all. I think about it every time I say it.
And it'll be a great idea. Let's have sex in a bathroom in an airplane. Like, y'all ever been in one of those airplane bathrooms? There's no goddamn room.
That's the point.
No, but I'm like maybe it's because I'm a 6'7" man, but I'm like, how do I maneuver this to even have this happen at that point? Plus, it's not conspicuous to have 2 people go into the bathroom at the same time. Like,
listen.
And how did 2 people get in the bathroom?
Oh, you can fit in there. It's just about how long you stay in there.
Oh my gosh.
It's another issue.
There's not enough room to punch the clown in there, let alone have sex. Goddamn.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys.
Anyway.
Next game up, we got your turn.
Okay, so what are you talking about? All right, we got 49ers going into Seattle. Damn, Drew. The Seahawks are favored in this game by 2.5 points. I'm sorry. Niners are favored by 2.5 points, and the over-under in this game is at 44.5 points. Listen, you're going to Seattle playing 12th man. Brock Purdy's one of the best things on that team right now because they gave away the rest of their offense. Your best player right now is Kittle. Ayuk is he going to be 100% with that ankle thing coming back?
He's pissed.
I don't think. Yeah, so you got a lot of problems you got to figure out. Your best bets right now is Jennings over there. So down the road, the Niners will be a better team. They're probably going to win the second round. I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game. They're obviously going to cover, and I'm taking the under in this game because I think it's more of a defensive game that's going to show up. There's a lot of things happening, but it's just I can't put my money right now. The best thing that's going to go on is CMC as long as he doesn't tear his calf.
Listen, this is a little bit of a tough game to kind of figure out too as well. Again, I don't want to keep on beating that dead horse. No offense to the Broncos when I say that, because week one, a lot of changes. You don't know fully everything going on there. So you got the 49ers who basically lost half their defense in free agency, got rid of Deebo Samuel. You got CMC coming off of a horrible injury-ridden year for him. You got the Seahawks that made a whole bunch of changes. Well, got rid of Geno Smith, got rid of DK Metcalf, brought in Sam Darnold to that point, who we're not sure, was it Minnesota? Was it him last year? You're going asking Jackson Smith and Najikman now to be the number one receiver. I mean, it's a totally different team than last year. And it's a hard one at that point there to figure out because of that. Another game I wouldn't touch with actual money, but I'm going with the Seahawks to win. I'm going with the Seahawks to go ahead and obviously, because they're getting the 2.5 points there, they're going to be the ones to win the spread pick there at that point. I'm going to go with the under on the points as well. I'm with you on that. Like, this is going to be probably a little bit of a low-scoring game. I think the Seattle Seahawks in general are going to be a little more of a defensive team this year. They've been getting a lot of good players in the defensive side of the ball. They got a defensive-minded head coach now. They got a quarterback that I don't necessarily trust to put up a ton of points as of right now. So I think it's going to be that kind of game there. And you're right on Brock Purdy. Like, Brock Purdy in this season reminds me, and let's see if he works better than I want to put negativity on him, because I actually root for the kid because you got to root for an underdog. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's always the underdog his whole career at this point. But reminds me kind of like Mark Sanchez with the Jets. Remember when they went to back-to-back AFC championship games? They had a loaded team. Slowly but surely, they took the running back away. They took Thomas Jones. They took away, a lot of the offensive line. And then Mark Sanchez just wasn't the same player.
No. And then got Tebow.
Can Brock Purdy be elite? We don't know, but probably not.
Yeah. His saving grace, too, is as long as that CMC is not the first drafted running back or first drafted overall pick in fantasy football, he normally balls out. He did not, but he's also come back off a pretty serious injury last year, so we shall see.
All right, let's go to the 425 games here. After I got to ask, there seems to be some kind. My shirt apparently is getting some likes here. It says this coffee better kick in before reality does. There with a little unicorn having it there. Jason, is that a T-shirt? A unicorn drinking a cup of coffee, and he finds it funny. And then Jason, if you can't figure out the shirt, you have more time next show. It never gets a break. He thinks I wear the same shirt all the time for some reason. Listen, I brought out a 2008 NFC East Championship shirt yesterday.
And you were getting shit for that, so obviously different shirt.
What's with my shirts? Let's start picking on Magnum PI here next to me. Or
what are you talking about? I don't have a hairy chest.
I say, what are you doing here? Why did you start stripping when I said that?
If I'm Magnum PI, I got to wear this shirt like half unbuttoned.
Yeah. Listen, Magnum PI solved murders. He wasn't a stripper, okay?
But the shirt was always half on.
That's true-ish, I guess. I haven't watched a Magnum PI, the original Magnum PI, in I don't know how many years. So, the older and older I get, the more I just feel like Higgins. Anyway, back to the 425 game. So we got first off the Lions at the Packers here with a nice NFC North matchup here. Packers are a 2.5 point favorite. Over under on that is 47.5. The big story obviously is will Micah Parsons play, being traded now obviously from the Cowboys to the Packers recently. They're saying that he still has some back issues. I honestly think that's a PR move to save face, to say he had back issues in Dallas. And look, it's real. He had him here too. And I think he'll play. I really think that's what's going on here. Maybe I'm just a cynic. Who knows? Listen, the Lions, though, lost both coordinators this offseason, lost their offensive coordinator to the Bears, lost their defensive coordinator to the Jets. There's some questions. Dan Campbell, great motivator, great CEO-style head coach there. But can he get this team back to going with new OC, new DC? You don't look at that guy and think he's great at coaching blank. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys who are offensive gurus. There's guys who are defensive gurus. Obviously, he was a blocking tight end as a player. So, you kind of think probably offense more is his thing. But that's what I look at him as. He's the motivator guy. He's the CEO type at that point. So what does this team lose by having two brand new coordinators? That's going to be a fun thing to see in the beginning of this there. Whereas the Packers are basically just loaded up for the first time with a big splashy move with Micah Parsons. That's very unpacker-like. The Packers typically draft, and don't make big splashy moves. So kudos to them for doing something different there. I'm going to say the Packers, they're a little, they're rolling here. They're all psyched out having a big move there. So I think the Packers win it. And motivation is part of it, guys. That happens when you're psyched out because your team just made a big move like that to help you guys win. You want to win. And don't get me wrong, everybody wants to win, but if that doesn't motivate you, nothing will. Seeing a team like being backed up by the ownership group and everything, well, even though the owners, I guess, the people of Green Bay or whatever, but like having it backed up by the front office. So yeah, like I said, I think point blank, you got to go with the Packers in this game. The Lions might have a little bit of a rougher start than they've had the last couple of years. They try to get things going with these new coordinators. Packers take full advantage. Packers, and I'm going to say over. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game.
Yeah, you definitely make a lot of points over there. And Micah Parsons is a big, big piece. And we talked about this before, like when it broke out that he left Dallas, which now we don't have to play him twice a year. We have to play him once this year, but that's because he's in Green Bay. It's a very smart move for Green Bay because they don't so much. What's that?
Free scarf day, by the way.
I know, it's fantastic. I can't wait to get a free scarf because I'll be at that game. So Goofballs, if you're out there and you want to go to the Packers game and watch them lose and us cry about Mike Parsons beating up on us again, like, I'll be there.
I'll be in Florida where I don't need a scarf.
Touche. It still looks good on the pod, though. But listen, you got one of the best.
With the good pick on the
cheesehead, get out of here. But I have to agree with you. Listen, the Lions are a very dominant team. They're a very aggressive team, but you got two new coordinators over there. Green Bay's a young team that's working on its offense, but that defense has really stepped up big time. And I think the Lions are going to come out slower, like you said, and I don't think they're going to be as aggressive on the ball. So I'm going to take the Packers to win this game in a very close game. I'm going to take them to cover, but I'm going to take the under in this game.
All right.
So I don't think it's going to be like when they meet again, you're probably talking over, and you're probably talking over close to 60.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I said I think I got over on this personally, but we'll see who's right. We'll see who's right there. Either way, we got the same team, so we're at least thirds the way on the same page.
All right, let's talk about the Texans going into LA. Play them Rams. Jackson's in the Rams there.
Get a Ram.
Team Ramrod. The Rams are favored by 2.5 points in this game, and the over/under in this is at 44.5 points. Yeah, you had CJ Stroud coming off last year off a down year. Same with Matt Stafford. But he seems to be fully healthy this year. They've made some proper moves. Same with Houston. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but you just don't go into another man's home in a close game where both these teams are where they're both unsure what's going on. So I'm taking the Rams to win this game. Listen, CJ Stroud's going to have to prove himself. You got a tank over there who's Mighty Mouse, if you will. But if healthy, I think both these teams if healthy, are going to have a bounce back year. But the Rams are going to take it week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on a lot of this here because the big thing for me is Matt Stafford's not even on the injury report, so he looks good to go. I think this is going to be a Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua kind of show there at that point there, which would be fun because Stingley is going to be covering him there, so that'd be a fun matchup to see there. But the biggest issue I have is the Texans overall right now. Let me sidetrack from the game. I know, crazy we sidetrack in this episode. Did the Texans want CJ Stroud not to succeed? Because, like, the big issue with him last year was he didn't have time in the pocket. And then you go ahead and trade away his left tackle. One of the best left tackles in all of football. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that mentality. Like, oh, look, our sophomore quarterback didn't do as good as his rookie year. Maybe we should just get rid of his left tackle.
I mean, that's also the Texans for you. They have a tendency to make some weird moves. But they've also tried to beef up that defense this offseason. They've also tried to replace some different players. But you're right. You let go one of the best tackles.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of picks for him. I'll give him that. That's for damn sure.
For hopes and dreams.
You know, and they went out and, you know, drafted a new left tackle in the second round. So, you know, I mean, at least they saw the need and went out and got one there. But to me, it's like he had that problem last year. You gave him even less help on the offensive line. So, yeah, how am I supposed to think he's going to improve and go back to what he was? So I'm going to say Rams, and the over just on that fact alone. So they get this offensive line figured out. I can't trust the Texans.
Yeah, it's fair.
So next up, we got the Ravens at the Bills on Sunday Night Football. And that's a damn night game to have there for Sunday Night Football. Kudos to NBC on getting that one there. Listen, this is, some people will say, a preview of the AFC Championship game. I will tell you point blank that one of these two teams will probably face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game because that's just the way things tend to go.
Not wrong.
Yeah. So listen, it's a home game for the Bills. They're a 1.5 point favorite. And honestly, it's because of the fact that it's a home game for the Bills. 51.5 is the over under. Absolutely insanely high over under. I'm going to say the Bills win it because, again, they are the home team. I'm giving the edge purely on that. This is a flip of a coin kind of game, guys. Point blank. Flip of a coin. Now, if this was in the postseason, I would tell you the Bills because I trust the Bills a little more in the postseason than I do the Ravens. But in a regular season home game, I'm going to say the Bills have a slight edge because of that home field advantage there. So Bills to win, 1.5 points, not going to change who I pick as far as the spread. So Bills to win the spread there. I'm going to say the under on the points, though. And I think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong. But I think it'll be more of a 48, 49 kind of points in this game here, as opposed to getting over that 51.5 spread there. That's just a ridiculously high spread.
Yeah, it is a high spread, but I also think it's a flip of a coin of a high spread. It is one of those games that's very easily could go over. But these two teams both have really good defenses, but they also are, you're talking about the top two quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Best of the best.
But best of the best, sir. You're right.
We got in a black at least once the episode.
This guy over here. Yes, sir. Anyway, I'm taking the Bills to win this game. I do have Lamar Jackson in my fantasy football team, but I think Josh Allen is probably the best quarterback in this league right now. Overall, real quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes?
Right now, stats-wise, thrown up.
I'm not a stat guy. I'm an eye test guy. But
yeah, well, I test Josh Allen a little bit more.
All he does is win. Anyway. I digress.
Anyway, listen, I would love to see this game if it was played in December. It would be a way different outcome, and Bills definitely be favored more. But I do take the Bills in this game. I think it's going to be one of those back and forth nonstop games. And I think the Bills have better overall weapons on offense than the Ravens do, but Lamar Jackson is just a weapon himself that's diversifiable, and they have a better defense. But I think that offense of the Bills is going to be enough to win this game very closely in the over.
Honestly, I can't get behind what you're saying on the weapons there with the Bills. I mean, the Ravens, I like what the Ravens have with Zay Flowers, getting Hopkins. I know he's on the end of his career. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's the Hopkins he was back in Houston, but that's a decent, team there, especially with the duo of tight ends they have there. I think got a decent set of weapons there.
They do. I just like the way that the ball moves around a little bit more with the Bills. And I think it's enough to bring the win to the Bills.
Oh, like I said, we do agree on that. So last game.
All right, last game. Monday night.
Hey, friends, here on Monday night.
Are you ready? Monday Night Football. And they gave us a banger of a game.
Football.
You got the Minnesota Vikings, don't you know? Going over to the Bears. Oh, a bunch of hosers over there. These Bears. Let me tell you, don't you know? Yeah, the Vikings are favored by 1.5 going into Chicago, which just tells you they're giving a lot of respect to the Bears.
Don't know why.
It's weird. Don't know why. Because usually, and 2 months from now, this will be like a 5.5 point favorite to Minnesota, but it is what it is. The over-under is 44.5 points, saying that these defenses are going to play a little better than these offenses, which I get what they're saying with the Vikings because, new quarterback, no Sam Darnold anymore. You got the Bears with Cam Ward. They think there's, Cam Ward's going to be the saving grace over there.
The Bears?
Caleb Williams. What did I say?
Kiss Cam Ward. Wrong game.
Cam Ward. Wrong game. Whoops. Yeah, Caleb Williams. See, that's how much I forgot about Caleb. Yeah, I'm taking not taking the Bears almost any game this year until they prove themselves otherwise, because they've been a dumpster fire. Time and time again, Minnesota figures out how to do it. You got one of the best, maybe the best wide receivers in the game. I'm going to give that to Jamar Chase, but especially since he's hooked up with his college quarterback, and they've just been crushing it.
I know they hooked up.
Yeah, it's weird. Don't ask myself. But JJ himself, and they got too many weapons on offense that you could literally put in our QB3 and look good. Well, they've done it the past 2 years.
Our QB3 is Jameis Winston, so yeah.
Yeah, he would look fantastic over there. So I'm taking the Vikings to win. Obviously, they're going to cover this game. And I'm taking the over because I do think the Bears are going to put up some scores, but I think the Vikings are just going to take advantage and put up like 24 points by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually with you 100% on this
28.
game. My only concern I have is JJ McCarthy, because I wasn't a big fan of JJ coming out of college. Really, his best move was handing the ball off. But like you said, look at the weapons around him. Good offensive line. You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Is one of the best wide receivers in football. If you give him a wide receiver, one spot, obviously he's been, wide receiver 2 now with this team here. He's also going to be suspended for this game because he's suspended the first 3 games. But I got to give him his props because he's a player that I think is a little underrated right now. TJ Hawkinson, and people forget how good that defense was for them last year. They gave up the 5th least amount of points in the NFL. They made Sam Darnold look good to the point where he got millions of dollars from the Seahawks. So I do think we'll regret that move.
Joshua Dobbs looked good over there.
Yeah, listen, if you can't throw the ball to Justin Jefferson and succeed, there's issues. Because he is the best wide receiver in football. I get Chase had a better year last year, but for their career so far, if you go year by year, Justin Jefferson has had the better career so far. And I think he is the best wide receiver in all of football. I'm going to pick with you at that point the Vikings to win, the Vikings to cover, and the Vikings to be on the over. I also think we should start doing an over-under in how many games before you start getting Caleb Williams crying into his mommy's lap there in the stadium, because I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams, and nothing against him personally. I just don't think he's as good a quarterback as people think. Ironically enough, we talked about the Jordan Addison thing a minute ago. Jordan Addison is who made him look so good at USC his junior year. Came back one more, and then all of a sudden, yeah, not so good there. So, as Jace knows, his Minnesota is a stacked roster. Van Ginkel, where did he come from? He came from his mom.
That's right. So real fast, we want to do that real fast. So you got the Bears play the Vikings week 1, week 2 the Lions, week 3 the Cowboys, week 4 the Raiders, week 5 Commanders, week 6 Saints. So he gets a little break there, but then you go Ravens, Cincinnati. I think he cries during a Giants game.
Listen,
November 9th.
We'll find out if he has little sad faces painted onto his nails for that week. We'll know. So
maybe he makes it to the 16th of November, where they have to play Minnesota again.
Yeah,
and it's going to be even worse.
As Jace knows, I thought his dad popped me out. No, he's not a seahorse. He's not a seahorse. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to call it a night for us here. Again, guys, we'll be on with you guys on Sunday during the game. I'll be with you all for the play-by-play as we watch the game together. And on immediately after the show, Rob will be on with me, along with a special guest we have to talk the Commander side with us here. So we get you guys both aspects of the game here. So that'll be on immediately after the last final whistle there. So I shouldn't say immediately. I'll probably take like a 2-minute break to go to the bathroom and get a drink, because I'll be doing 3 hours of the game itself. It's rough on the voice. But like I said, as soon as we can, we'll pop in right on. So if you haven't already, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button there. Tell a friend about the show, because point blank, we suck at marketing and we need your guys' help. Appreciate you guys for watching. As always, we are live on YouTube, the preferred network to go ahead and watch us on, along with, of course, Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch, and of course Rob's favorite.
And
of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms as well: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. Guys, again, appreciate you guys for watching as always, and as always, Giant fans.
Go Demon! 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 Demon!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm